the race separates the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, or not. Everybody ready to go? Big party pulls up, Christine says that the blue colors. The blue line that they go up to is called the relief line. That line comes in particular play later on during the Madison, when riders take turns going in and out of the bike race, and while they're out and resting, they are to ride above that blue line. But we'll get more into that as we get more into the racing. Nick Lawton back to the front again. Lawton out of Rochester Hills. He made his name out there on the velodrome at Bloomer Park. A lot of these riders started out there and transitioned nicely into the 166 here. 50-degree banking in the turns, 15 in the straights. It's a challenge. And while this race is rolling on, we once again and always every night forever and ever want to thank our sponsors, Alexis Velodrome, Lexus for sponsoring the naming rights, and Detroit Medical Center, who is here on board during all of our races in case we need a medical emergency.
And Chris, we just have a new sponsor, Diversified Members Credit Union.
Yeah. Anybody want to be a sponsor? There's plenty to be had at the coolest velodrome in the United States, maybe the world. Yeah, let's say it, the world. We've been having races. We had our first race out here January 20th, and we haven't stopped. We have another big two-day coming up March 16th and 17th, but right now we've got a pretty good pace going on this velodrome today, March 3rd.
And March 16th and 17th, we've got a team coming from LA, a team coming from Oregon, a team coming from Toronto, and a team coming from Atlanta.
And Nick Lawton off the saddle, picking up the pace, gets a little bit of a gap there going. Chris Hughes pulls up so Luke Mullis can close it right down. Lawton and Bondi trying to get a bit of a breakaway here as they're looking at 13 to go. Is that right? Yes. 13 to go. Lawton and Bondi getting some real estate between. Brandon Carbom now picking up the pace, leading out Luke Mullis, Luke Kessler, Elizabeth Stevenson, Chris Hughes taking the slow roll at the top. Specially qualified to race the Madison. It's not an easy thing, and you'll see as we get into it later on. Now look at this, Luke Mullis making a bit of a break. And he looks pretty solid on it. Looking back to see who's chasing him down, and it's Brandon Carbom, a sprinter specializing in sprinting, but he decided to take a third lap ride around velodrome. So Cavender, Carbom, and Mullis at the front. And there goes Luke Mullis now. His advantage, diving down to that black. You're riding away. No one's really chasing him down as we've got 6 to go in the bike race. Carbom looking back saying, come on, who's going with me? Carbom pulls up and says, okay, Cavender, you take over because Mullis is out front. He's not letting up at all. And they're looking at 3. Luke Mullis just easing up a little bit because he's pretty sure that with 2 to go, nobody's going to be catching him. So he doesn't need to expend all of his energy right now. And he gets the bell. He's first at it. Luke Mullis gains some points and wins some money on this first 30-lap scratch race. A race that is just a distance with the final sprint over Nick Lawton, and Mullis takes it. And we got a sprint between Cavender and Carbom, and Cavender wins it. Carbom in third, Elizabeth Stevenson in fourth. For our pro racers, they'll be back in a little bit. All right, we've been getting a lot of racers out here, riders out here learning how to ride the velodrome. What the heck? I had a program and now it's not here. Next up is another, how far is this one going to be, Dale? Did you change it?
This is a semi-pro 3-mile race.
3 mile, 30 laps.
3 miles, 30 laps.
So as our pros come off the velodrome and our semi-pros line up, I'm going to try telling you who's out there. I don't know if I'll get them all right. Number 452, he's right at the start-finish line. That's Brian Budd. Brian Cleveland. Right behind him, 383, Michael Paolella.
Guys, put your hand up when your name's called.
Yeah, is that Nick Raid third? Yes, I can't see your number because your arm is over it, but I can figure it out. Chris Schroeder. You can tell Chris because he's got orange handlebars. Makes it easy for me. Right behind him, it's Scott Krosky. Scott Krosky. Next up is Stephen Dahl. Yeah, I got it. And Jordan Cavalry. And finally, last but not least, wearing 397. Oh, and there's another. Who's joining them there? Can you see that number? Is that Colin Snyder? The last guy? Is that Tom? Excuse me while I grapple for names here, people. Sorry about that. Yep, it's Tom DeJulio, but I think he's getting into the next race. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 racers up there. Some of these racers are new to velodrome racing. Some are slightly trained in it. And they're off.
Pick it up there, pick it up.
Dale Hughes ever coaching. All right, so Chris Schroeder moves right to the front. Is that Brian Butt or is that Paul Wright? I believe pulls up to the top, and now we've got Scott Krosky at the front. Krosky having a good old time out here racing on the velodrome. He's been out regularly. Next up, Stephen Dahl. He pulls up, and Jordan Cavalry takes over for a moment or two. Peter Vida. He's got some funky handlebars there. And Chris Schroeder back to the front again. Chris Schroeder doing an excellent job out here over the season. Our first season here at the Lexus Velodrome.
And Chris, 5 of these riders in this field just learned how to race on this track in the last 3 weeks.
Whoa, really? Well, you can do it too.
We have 2 rider classes every day during the week, one at 7 in the morning, one at 12, one at 4, one at 5, and on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. And we have programs for kids under 18 until you're 3. We have the coaching, the bikes, and the time to make an Olympic champion.
That's our goal. We think it might be theirs too. Peter Vida now moves to the front. Sitting tight is Scott Krosky in the red jersey. Right behind him, Jordan Cavalry with Chris Schroeder, Paul Wright, Michael Paolella, Nick Raidi, and Stephen Dahl. Most important things that you can learn out here when you're learning how to race is to stick. Watch where you're going. Eyes up and look straight ahead. Chris Schroeder, still setting the pace out front, decides he'll take it for another lap now. Right behind him, Paul Wright. And Chris Schroeder picking it up a bit. On the outside, it's a little bit disordered. He drops into that hole. Nice move by Schroeder, getting back in on the wheel of Krosky. I can't see the lap card. Once again, Paul Wright. Indicating to other. Number 52 is Brian. last month. It is Brian. I just want to take a moment, wish a greeting to somebody. Days ago, it was his birthday. All right, now we're going to get our second half of the semi-pros. Tonight, but world champion many times over, out of times. A real world champion right here. And Lamont can whistle too. All right, in our second group now, at the front there we've got Autumn Kea. Next up is Tom Julio. Third. Who's that guy? .466. Is that red is 466? The third from the end? 6. John Royal, 386. Oh, that's Paul Wright and Jackson Capella. So we've got Autumn Kea. 3. Colin Snyder. 390. Yeah, what's 390? What is his number? 390? Mike Scannell. Sorry about that, Mike. I know who you are. Number 468 is 466 is John Royal. 386. There's Paul Wright, and at the back of that field, our one lone junior in there, Jackson Capella. So this is also going to be, this will be a 20-lap scratch race, and they're off. Autumn Kea pulls up, and I can't remember the guy's name in that amount of time. I forgot it. Mike Scannell at the front right now. Paul Wright sitting in second place. John Royale in third. Tom DeJulio. What's 459? Colin Snyder in fourth. Jackson Capella. John Royal at the front. There's setting a pretty nice pace there. They're pretty spread out right now. So John Royal keeps it going smooth in the front. Tom DeJulio now. And I guess Tom DeJulio's got a lot of energy tonight because he's leading that field all the way around. Colin Snyder looking to go over him, and we got a little bit of action in the back now. Colin Snyder making a move to the outside. John Royale going with him. Jackson Capella back DeJulio. And also on the outside goes Mike Scannell in the bright green. Mike Scannell making a move over everyone. And it's Colin, John, and Mike. We got a three-man break right here. Jackson Capella trying to get over Tom DeJulio as well. So John Royale, Mike Scannell, and Colin Snyder kind of get an edge on the field, and Jackson Capella bridging up there. And Jackson kind of brings them all together. Paul Wright now getting over Tom DeJulio to get on the wheel of Jackson Capella. Everybody heads up there, watching where they're going, staying in their lane. Sticking, as we call it. John Royale still leading this out. Jackson Capella goes up high there, drops down now. Royale pulls up, Scannell over. Paul Wright sitting tight in the second position with Colin Snyder in third. Before. And now Tom DeJulio is going to get up there. And Autumn Kea, oh! All right. Let's hear it for Mike Scannell. He got up on that. Mike Scannell. So John Royale still at the front, and Jackson his eye on the wheel. He's going to keep sitting on. Caught on that wheel as Colin Snyder and right there. No. Second. Now,
Next up is our
got Dejan Arps. So we got that's his brother was on the other right. Dejan Arps, Luke Shaw, She brought her 2 kids plus a bunch of other kids. She brought in a whole group of kids the other night and said, hey, you got to come here and learn how to ride this. That's what it's all about. Youth under 18, they come here, they learn how to ride the velodrome, they have track bikes, they have helmets, they have shoes. We teach them how to ride and they learn how to race out here at the velodrome and they have a pretty good time doing it, I think. Yep.
They're going to see 5 laps when they come around.
Okay, 5 laps for me, okay. Is brand new. Jimmy, Dejan, and Makai from racing at the steady pace, I'd say, for a bunch of youngsters who are just learning how to handle this sport. Jimmy Capella at the front, and they're not shy about applause. They love to hear people yell for them. Pick your favorite. They got 3 to go. Look at this Jimmy Capella just making them all over the back. Stick down that wheel. That's giving up on that. Luke shot out there. No hands on all by himself. And Makai Wallace all by himself. Jimmy Capella. Degree back. By the way, I don't know if the Colorado is a really great cheering out here. All you have to do is sit beside the track and get down on the infield. Hit the left stand. Make a lot of noise. That's it. Now we'll show you how. We get a small crowd tonight, so we really need you to put some effort into making a lot of noise. Yeah.
Next up, Chris, we have the Super Max Sprint, which are the 5 fastest guys tonight are racing very fast 5 laps. It's short, but very, very fast. So they'll line up on the rail and introduce, and then they'll roll off with 1 lap, and then 5 laps will start, the race will start.
All right, so our super fast people, our super fast racers. We got Keith Kiley in the front. Keith is out here. He teaches everybody how to ride this velodrome. He's one of our managers out here. He left this velodrome. Right behind Nick Lawton, you saw Nick have a great sprint in that 30-lap scratch race they did. Behind him, Jake Bondi. Jake Bondi has been concentrating on sprinting along with Brandon Carbum in the black right there. And right behind him, Luke Mullis. He's the youngster in the crowd. He's got his sights set on Olympics in a few years.
Now the 2 teams in yellow, although the 2 riders in yellow will be teamed up later on, and 2 teamed up earlier. This race, they're racing against each other.
Against each other, all right. So typically a match race involves 2 racers. They go for 3 laps, and it's largely a game of cat and mouse. So this is going to play out a little different than a super match race. 5 racers having to keep track of each other. There's probably going to be only one really, really fast lap, but we'll see how that goes. It depends on what their strategy is and how they plan on riding it. Joaquin Kiley trying to control it from the front already. What is that, 4 you're giving him now? 4? Luke Mullis keeping an eye on things at the back, and you can see Brandon Carbaum has got his eye on Luke Mullis, and now the sprint begins, sort of. Jake Bondi making a move out front. Look at how they hold their lines. They've got to keep their distance as they go around that 50-degree banking, shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip. Joaquin Kiley riding the wheel of Jake Bondi just needs to accelerate. Trying to ride that wheel and get over him, but
That was fast. I think they probably hit 40 miles
40 miles
an hour.
an hour. Kristen is our bartender tonight, our volunteer bartender. There's no alcohol yet. We've got a liquor. No racers are allowed to indulge, but that's coming soon. But any tip that you leave Kristen goes into ride. The riders at they might like to just play a little game with each other. So Bruce Carlson giving them the final directions. Not that they need much because they've been out here a few times. Bud at this is a fashion story. And in the back, line. Of the race. Used to be called the missing out. It's way more fun. All right, everybody going up and over Nick Raiti. Nick Raiti must be content to be. Nick Raiti. But we're glad you're here. Right now, he's going to have to back. And it's going to be John Royal. Royal. You are eliminated. Keep it calm. Chris Schroeder doing a good job out there for all these weeks. So is Brian Budd. Chris Schroeder's got his gear wound up. They got and now it is 1 to go, and Chris Schroeder's off the. Brian Budd happy with second, I guess. Let's hear it for Chris Schroeder coming up strong with Brian Budd in second place. And that is how you do the elimination. We're going to do another one of those in just a minute. We're going to have another semi-pro scratch race. Is that what this is, Dale? Race. I failed to point out earlier that we also have a lone woman in this race too, Autumn Kea, at the front of those lining up right now. Autumn is one of our promising young juniors. We expect great things from Autumn. She's doing quite well now. There's not a lot of women out here, only for no reason. So if you know any women that need to get out and ride, send them our way. So it's Autumn Kea, Colin Snyder, Paul Wright, Mike Scannell, Tom DeJulio, Michael Paolella, and Jackson Capella. "20-lap scratch race. Scratch races are races that kind of test their endurance and their track handling skills. How do you do in a pace line? Are you able to take advantage of somebody else's pull? To first at the end. We will conclude our night with a 6-mile Madison. The Madison is one of the most exciting bike races there is. Bike race style. And if you haven't seen one, hang on, folks, because it's going to be awesome.
Remember, riders, do not move up the track unless you do a shoulder check.
All right. Paul Wright immediately drops down.
Some of these riders are used to riding on the road or on the mountain bike where they don't have too many riders around them. But here on the track, within 3 seconds, the rider can be 5 laps behind and be right alongside. So you have to do a shoulder check before you're going to move up the track.
Colin Snyder picking up the pace at the front with Mike Scannell sitting in second. Tom DeJulio. Paul Wright is going to drop in that hole. You basically have to constantly be doing shoulder checks when you're racing on the velodrome. At 166, things happen fast. Paul Wright. And look at this. We got a move now by Jackson Capella. He decides he's going to go out and go for it with 15 to go. That's a pretty bold move. He's working on leaving everybody behind. Can he lap the field? Jimmy Capella, Jackson Capella going out there all out. This young junior taking on the rest of the riders out there. He's almost got a half a lap on the field. He responds to cheers, so give him a cheer. Mike Scannell chasing him down. Jackson Capella now rethinking whether he should have gone for that lap so early, but he's still got nearly a half a lap on the rest of the field. Come on, give him some cheering, Jackson Capella. He's starting to pedal squares out there with 12 to go in the bike race. Made a bold move, got ahead of everybody, kept himself out of danger. But now Colin Snyder's picking up the chase. Let's see if Mike Scannell jumps on the wheel of Colin Snyder. And can they bridge up to Jackson Capella, the youngster in that group? And now they're coming on strong. Jackson's off the... now with Paul Wright and Mike Paolella still at the front. Scannell and Snyder working together and working nicely together, taking turns. That's how you do it when you want to save your energy. Make the other guy work, but also you got to take a little bit of the load. Scannell now at the front, Colin Snyder in second. Paul Wright now pulling up Michael Paolella. Tom DeJulio fighting to stay on. And Jackson Capella wishing maybe that he hadn't jumped so soon, but it was fun. Colin Snyder. And now we've got 4 almost together. Mike Paolella moving up there. Mike Paolella is something of a veteran at velodrome racing. I know, and his son is following in his footsteps, also on the podium, Vladimir Paolella. So they got strong legs in that family. Mike Paolella now at the front. Colin Snyder in second. Mike Scannell and Paul Wright. Tom.
4 laps to go when they come around. Come on, folks, pick your favorite one here. I picked the guy in red.
You picking the guy in red? I'm going to pick the guy in green. And white, and blue, and red. No favorites here. Mike Paolella looking around. Yeah, they're still on ya.
The guy in blue is the sprinter, so he's trying to save his energy by always setting up wheel, waiting for that last lap.
Go in the bike race. And now they are going to hear the bell when they come around. Here we go. Mike Paolella, Colin Snyder, Mike Scannell, and Paul Wright. Let's hear it for these guys. Good job out there. Woo-hoo!
Over in Japan, they bet on bike racing. They do about $1 million a day in gambling on bike racing. They have about 20 velodromes around the country in Japan.
And how many in the U.S.?
There's about 25 velodromes in the U.S., but most of them are much older, outdoor, concrete, somewhat flat tracks. This is the new style of velodromes, which is actually a very old style because this sport was really a sport that was invented in the United States in the 1890s. And the first team race that you're going to see later on that we call the Madison was literally invented in Madison Square Garden in 1899. Here's a car bet you can win. You know some sports writer. Ask him what two sports were all the original National Hockey League buildings architecturally designed for. And the two sports are hockey and velodrome racing. All the aisles of Olympia Stadium, when it was built in 1927 here in Detroit, the 30 event they had was a velodrome race. And all the aisles followed the contour of the track so the spectators could see. And in fact, all the seats at the ends were so steep they had guardrails in front of every row. 1927, 40,000 Detroiters went to Olympia Stadium to see velodrome racing.
I didn't know that.
Here we're looking at hopefully 2028, the Olympic team members.
That's right. And at the front of there, we've got Jimmy Capella, followed by Dejan Parks, Luke McShaw, and Mackay Walden. Now just look at these kids. They know how to ride a wheel. Ride, pedal, pedal, pedal. Don't slow down. Yeah, the boy. Okay, Mackay Walden. Motor up to the wheel. Strong little button. To go. Let's see what's left here. Dejan Parks off the saddle. Putting the pressure on. Excel in the slipstream. Can he get up and over? Parks. And Jimmy's making his move to the outside. Dejan trying to hold him off. Jimmy coming on strong. And it is going to be Jimmy Capella. Dejan Parks. Let's hear it for the. Let's see what's left here. Dejan. there.
I think they're going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, that's one of our advertising campaigns to parents. Well, come on, we'll tire your kids out for free. It won't even cost. All right, next up, we're going to have another super.
Next up is the super sprint again. 5 riders ever hit 40+ miles an hour.
So last time Rick Willis took it. I think he'll be the hard man in this one. Strong. 3.
Okay, next up we're going to have our semi-pros do a 20-lap scratch race. Semi-pros. The semi-pros will do a 20-lap scratch race. We have to change the program.
Okay. Perchance. Patrick. So we're going to have both fields in this race. We're just doing it to confuse things. So, Reber, what do you think? She gives it a thumbs up. Yeah.
so fun that means. All right. They're off.
Twelve riders out there. That's what I'm looking at. Looking pretty organized right now, 2 by 2. They can team right now. Chris Schroeder, but he's still on the upside. They're all using hope to their advantage. If you're up high on that 50-degree banking and get a boost on the way down. Now Jordan Cavalry moves back and says, oh, I still got a gap, and look at this. Quarter of a lap on the field. Now it's up to Colin Snyder. A little bit up. Got 1 mile to go in the of Jordan Cavalry and overtake him. Still at the front, Jordan Cavalry. It's John Royal and Mike. Not too far behind. Incidental, he goes up. Good job out. Woo-hoo! Once again, let's have a round.
Okay, next up is the pros are doing an elimination race. What we used to call the miss out, and what in Europe they call the devil takes the hindmost.
Well, that's zero for you. Europe, but devil takes the hindmost? What's that about? Says that whoever knew. You know, when you're standing up here and you watch an elimination, you can kind of tell when a rider is boxed in and how that's going to go for them. But you can tell because you're looking at it from up here. But the rider often cannot tell because he's always looking around to see who's around him. You can't ever be sure where everybody is. Predictions up here. Let's hear it for Lexus, as well as the Detroit Medical Center. On board. They'll be with us officially for a phone call in Detroit. And Dale said, "Oh, I live in Detroit," and the guy said, "Yeah, I know that." So for the past few years, they've been cooking up this scheme to bring an indoor velodrome to Midtown, to make it the most visible velodrome in the United States. And to bring lots of people here, just like they did in Olympia Stadium so many years ago. We can't fit in quite that many. Actually, you guys are doing all the European and bring your friends. Yeah! All right, so this is the information. Once again, they're going to go around 5 times. Then they're going to hear about it, and then they're going to pull riders from the back of the field. Right now in the front, it's Chris Hughes and Stevenson, right? Down. Luke Mullis. Without a partner, but he's a sprinter, so let's see how that works out. And then in the other, hear a bell. over. It is moved to the outside. Lawton, you are. They're safe. As he goes up and over Elizabeth. Elizabeth Stevenson trying to get over those two. But she rides smart and strong and determined. So now we're going to have basically a match sprint. Mullis has got the or this afternoon. That we have, where we provide free everything for our kids, and in every town. You're looking at some future champions right there. Hills out there and driving back home again. Myrna Capelli is very happy so close to home. If you got a little 3-year-old, third, and Mackay Walbum.
Really, we have two races here, and the duel's been between Dejan and Jimmy. And Luke and Mackay.
Is it Luke Green new to the track here? Making him. Couldn't make it tonight because of the flu. Racing. In and out. It's not anything that you typically see anywhere but here at the Lexus Velodrome.
So Bruce is going to be giving the riders instructions. This is a 60-lap Madison. At lap 41, they're going to hear the bell and they're going to sprint. And the points are 5, 3, 2, 1. Then at 21, there's another sprint with 5, 3, 2, 1. And then at 1 to go, they'll get a bell. And the next time around, the riders get double points. So it's going to be a great race. 3 teams, it's easy to follow.
And the race is very ceremony.
So what you're going to see is the riders on the home stretch are going to start out, and the riders on the back stretch are going to drop down, and they're going to sling each other into the race.
My arm hurts.
So that means that one rider will be going down at the bottom of the track. One rider of the team will be going fast to the black line and doing his 2 laps or 3 laps. And then his partner who's riding above the blue line will be going maybe 15 or 16 miles an hour, will drop down. And the first rider, his teammate, will grab him by the hand and sling him into the race, so he goes from 15 miles an hour immediately up to 30 miles an hour. I don't know if you saw any of the Olympics and you saw the short track speed skating, but the short track speed skating has an effect like this. Instead of the relief rider riding on the outside in speed skating, the relief skater is on the infield and they push each other. It's still there. I guess I should listen to you.
You never do. Howard just had a fun. Howard.
Last race of the night, folks. Let's enjoy it. It'll be fun.
You guys on this side ready? Backstretch, guys.
Luke's busy talking.
Bell at 41, 21, 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. Double points on the last sprint.
Luke. Love you. Thank you.
We have more teams. We go longer. There's a lot of bikes in this infield. We use them for, we had, 25 people learning how to ride the track today this morning. Yet another
All brand new. afternoon. I think they're up at the top of the hill, top of the track up there.
All right. And on Monday, we start our fitness classes at Detroit Fit. So if you want to get into something like that, we're offering free classes for a couple weeks as an introduction to what we're going to be doing here. Corner of Turf 4, we got a 1,200 square foot bamboo floor. But back to that, we're on the track right now. So one of the rules of Madison racing, one of the cardinal rules is that you never go between two riders with the same color jersey. Because they're most likely to exchange. So you got to be very careful with that. That becomes particularly true when you have a lot of traffic out there. We've got more than 3 teams. So it should be pretty good for all the way through this race, but you never know what can happen out there. Madison racing is full of the unexpected. Chris Hughes. You want to have your exchanges be nice and tight and rather quick. A little hot here. There he goes, gets right on the wheel. So you drop it on the rider coming in.
First sprint is at 1:41.
We got there pretty fast.
Looks like everybody's sort of setting up for that final few laps before the bell.
Picking it up a bit, pulls off, Chris Hughes now takes over, and blocks something on the river this season. Jake Buckley now dropping into the throw, and watch how those Stevenson edges up a little bit. In goes Jake Buckley, his forward momentum pushes. Henry Gardner, and she hops in on his wheel. This is actually a very easy way to learn how to watch an Madison race, which is usually very complicated. With 3 teams, it's a little easier to track what's happening. You don't typically have a lot of so you can see how the riders operate, how they're thinking when they're being back and forth into the bike race and where they're going to go. And I was thinking, Luke Taylor decided to go was right to the front after putting the hammer on. They got 42 to go in the bike race. They're going to hear a bell at 41. Nick Lawton. And we got 2 more sprints in the bike race with double points on the last sprint. He's a very smart bike racer. He knows when to make his move. He made it just exactly at the right moment right then. Especially as Team Blue get caught up in exchange. So, all is pulled up now. Heather at the front. That lap is wrong. I think it's 36, Chris. Come down, my friend. All right. Cameron has a general portion to Elizabeth Stevenson. Hughes. Team Blue, Stevenson sitting back. So remember, it's the team with the most points that wins the race. Not necessarily the team that crosses the line first on the last lap. I think this is only Jake Downey's second team race.
They have 31 laps to go. We're almost halfway through this race.
We'll have about 8 teams out there on November 16th and 17th. So imagine doubling this field and then some. And exchanges going on. And sprints. It gets pretty crazy. And Madison was at Tay at Madison Square Garden. It used to be the place where theater goers would go after the show to catch the world, as they call it. They went on for 24 hours, 6 days. Crazy. All right, 27 to go.
You know, I think those super sprints could settle the gusto out. I'm trying to think of that. Oh, look at there. 2 to go.
Too soon. Look around to go now.
Go, Lou.
Bella 20. Nick. And he's a teacher. Jake Bondi all have day jobs. They work their nice steady pace, 14 to go. 13 when you get to the line. 13 to go. So does anybody's bike race really with that point spread? Yellow's got 8, blue's got 7, black has got 5. Whoa, don't overlap. Doing nothing. They are driving. Made a big move out there for Team. Right now with Luke Mullis going. And Jake Bondi. Or is it a